Good afternoon and welcome to today's Mississauga Seventh-day Adventist Church After Chat. I'm your host, Eugene Williams. I'm so glad that you could join us today. Today we had a wonderful worship experience here at the Mississauga Seventh-day Adventist Church, and we'd just like to spend some more time with you in worship. Today we have our first guest, Mr. Matthew.
Yes, Matthew Grant.
Matthew Grant, who's one of our musicians. You may have seen him from time to time on the keyboards.
That's right.
And we're just here to just ask him a few questions. So, Matthew, I'm calling your brother's name. What stood out the most from you about today's worship experience?
You know what? Dealing with a topic that we talked about today, when we had our speaker presenting on infertility, I think it's something that needs to be talked about a lot more. Our women need to be protected in a lot of different ways, and that's a big one because, as she said when she was speaking, a lot of people tend to hide it. Mm-hmm. A lot of people tend to go through it on their own,
right.
And they don't feel like there's always a safe space for them to talk about it, share what they're feeling, what they're going through. They feel like maybe not everyone can relate, when the reality is it's probably a lot more prevalent than we even notice on a week-to-week basis when we all come together. Right. So we need to support them in that way and let them know that, hey, this is a safe space for them to ask for help, get some guidance if they need it, and really just give them support. That's all we can do. It's love, right? That's what we're here to do, just love on each other. Exactly.
So after today's message, I know you're you're newly married, you just have 2 small children?
I have one child right now.
One child. I'm losing track, sorry folks. Please forgive me.
Yeah.
One child.
For now.
But your age group is the one that's having children right now. What advice do you think or support do you think you could give based on what you learned today? Is there anything that you could give or tell anybody from today's message?
You know what? Life is not easy.
Right.
Anyone who you may look at and think, they have everything figured out, the reality is they don't.
Right.
And I can even say that from personal experiences. Right. Not everything is going to be a walk in the park. And when it comes to, again, the topic that we discussed today,
yes.
You need to understand that, there might be challenges.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you spoke to my wife, she might share with you some of the challenges that, she had when we were having our first child.
Right.
And it's just a matter of knowing that she's not the only one.
Right.
And, with the support of others, we were able to get through it. And look, we're an example today. We have a healthy 1-year-old daughter, and she's
Amen.
Growing and developing just as she should.
Amen.
And the next time around, it might not be the exact same experience.
Exactly.
And we have to be ready for that. And that's not just when it comes to fertility and infertility. Mm-hmm. That's with life in general.
Right.
So that would be my 2 cents.
Right, you mentioned something. You just said that you were not the only one. And a lot of times when we go through things, we think we're the only ones going through that situation. But it's good to know that we can, we're not alone, and that there's other people going through what we're going through, other people who can maybe share something with us. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, and it's funny because some of my friends were talking about it this week, that we know a lot of people who very recently have been going through these issues, when it comes to infertility. And some people we might look at and say, oh, they had a kid so easily.
Right.
You don't really know what their experience was.
Know.
There's a lot more information that we're not privy to a lot of times. So it's just a matter of being aware of that. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And again, I go back to the main point, just showing support, showing love, and being that shoulder to lean on if someone even if you have no real advice, even if you've had no kids yourself, just being that shoulder that they can lean on and say, hey, we're here to help you and support.
Well, thank you so much, Matthew. Thank you for taking your time to share your experience, and I pray that you have a blessed week, and we hope to see you again.
Thanks so much.
Take care. So as we continue here at the Mississauga After Chat program, just want to thank you guys so much for staying with us. If you have any questions, you can leave those questions in the chat. If there's any questions or concerns, please feel to share with us. As you know, this is a very heavy subject today, but we want to give God thanks for what He has done and for the blessings that He has brought to this church. And I'm glad that you're worshiping with us and that you're enjoying this worship experience with us today. Our next guest is the speaker for this morning, and it's Dr. Latazia Stewart. But for today, I'm going to call her Dr. TAZZ, if that's
Dr.
okay.
Dr. TAZZ.
Just meeting her for the first time, Dr. TAZZ, but I'm just going to call her Dr. TAZZ as she allowed me to do. Thank you so much, first of all, for being willing to share your experience with us, your story with us, and being vulnerable. I'm sure you've heard this before, but like you said, it's a subject that we don't talk about a lot, especially in our churches, and sometimes we may even tend to spiritualize things and not really get to the real bones of the matter. And I'm glad that you are here with us. What could you offer in terms of hope for those who are watching online, in terms of hope when they're going through this experience that we call infertility? What could you offer in terms of hope?
Yes, unfortunately, when we are experiencing infertility and or pregnancy loss, it sometimes feels like we are forgotten. Like there can't be a God that would allow us to be experiencing what we are, especially as somebody who believes in God. Like, where is he? And I can tell you, I totally relate to that, because there was a period when, I was like, God, like, here I am serving you on a regular basis. I don't drink. I don't, do alcohol. I don't smoke. I try to keep my body well. But why is this? And some may say, well, we can't ask God why. Why are we questioning God? But can I tell you, I believe that our God is so big and so great that he is able to take any question that we bring to him, and he does not judge us when we do. And so if you're one who is in the midst of this journey and you are wondering if he still considers you or remembers you, let me let you know right now, he never forgot you. And he has your life written on the palms of his hands, and he has a plan for the situation that you are going through right now that you may not be able to see, but that is greater than what you are going through.
Thank you so much for that. Now, what do you think that we could do as a church or as individuals to be of more support? And you mentioned in your message that a lot of times we may normalize, we're all having children and everybody's having children. I'm just going to get married. I'm just going to have they're just going to come.
They're just going to come.
But what could we do as a church and as individuals to be more supportive?
Yeah. Well, I do want to applaud the Mississauga Church, because actually just having this type of conversation demystifies the issue of it being taboo.
Right.
And there are a lot of church communities that unfortunately are not yet at the place of having this conversation. And so there are individuals who are sitting in their pews thinking they're the only ones, and they don't necessarily see their church as a place of being a safe place to have the conversation or to seek out additional help, because it's not being talked about. So one, having the conversation is one of the first steps, and having, people come in like myself to be able to share in this regard. Then second, on an individual basis, all right, this is where it gets tricky, right? And I kind of got into my feelings near the end of the message there. You may have heard me say, mind your womb, folks, okay? I know that you have a desire and you don't mean to be, saying the things that are not right, or that may, that would cause any ill feeling, right? But when we start questioning folks about, when they're going to have kids and everything, it actually creates more of a painful experience for the one who is going through it. So, yes, if you're looking on an individual basis how you can help, leave the people home alone, okay?
I like your second point about leaving the womb alone, because we do that sort of in a playful way. As soon as people get married, when are you having children?
That's it.
And we don't know what they are experiencing or what they are going through.
That's it.
Thank you so much. I'm encouraging anybody out there, if you have not got yourself a copy of this book, The Secrets of Faith,
In
fertility. Play on words to try and get a copy. I'm sure it's available on Amazon.
It is available on Amazon. Or
if you come by a church, you might be able to get a free copy today.
Yes, there are free copies. So definitely the Mississauga Church has purchased several copies, so you can come on by here as well. And, you know, to your last point where you're asking as to how individuals can help others.
Yes.
Let me put this spin on it. If you're one who's going through, you're like, well, how can I help myself? I don't know what to do or where to go.
Right.
Well, one of the things I do provide is fertility support and helping individuals develop a fertility plan. And so they can go to my website, drtazz.com. It's doctor spelled all the way out, DOCTORTAZZ. And on my website, they're able to book a free fertility session.
Oh.
Yeah. Always have available a fertility session that's free available for individuals. They can book through my site and they can get more additional resources and support available there.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing, Dr. TAZZ.
Yes.
And if anybody's online, we're going to be having lunch at church, and she'll be sharing some more with her, along with her colleague, Lisa, as well.
Right, Lisa? Want to come on?
Want to come on?
Yeah, let's invite Lisa over to share.
She shared with us earlier in the program about the 3 E's. Thank you so much for sharing. Both of these wonderful young ladies will be sharing with us this afternoon. So if you're free, come on down to the church and join the program. Thank you so much for coming along today and sharing with you your time and your testimonies.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So you heard it here at the Mississauga Seventh-day Adventist Church After Chat program. We want to thank you so much for coming along and worshiping with us today, and we hope that you are blessed by the experience that you had with us. We're looking so forward to worshiping with you over the next few weeks, and we want to thank you for all that you have brought to the service yourself by continuing to be with us online today. We're looking forward to what we will experience this afternoon, and just want to say thank you guys. Have a blessed week, and God bless. See you next week on the Mississauga Seventh-day Adventist Church After Chat program. Take care, everybody.